Welcome back to Cryptosaurus. I'm George. We're all George. So, happy Monday. We're starting out a new week. Bitcoin is up slightly to start the day, but Bitcoin is going to face some critical or crucial tests this week. What does that mean exactly? Well, it has a lot to do with inflation and the Fed. So, let's talk about these things and more. All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Good morning. Bitcoin is looking better today than yesterday. And this weekend, we did get this mini pump back up to about 62.7 last night. It went as low as 60,700, about 2,000 points. But there are many things that are going to happen this week. And usually scary things. I don't know. Sometimes they're scary, sometimes they're not. Starting out with this is always scary when you hear about a ton of Fed presidents and governors and members. When they start, hold on, let me move my camera up a little bit. When they start talking, generally speaking, nothing good happens with markets because they tend to be more hawkish than dovish every single time. So today we have two, Vice Chair Jefferson and Mester. And then tomorrow we have two. And the biggest one will be, of course, Powell. And he's going to be speaking tomorrow. And then you got another one on Wednesday, 3 on Thursday, 1 on Friday. And again, generally speaking, I don't even know why Mester is listed twice. Generally speaking, when these Fed members talk, they say bad things like, okay, inflation is up, so we may have to consider rate hikes. Like, no, that's not what you should be saying and not what you should be scaring. I mean, there's no need to scare the markets even more, right? We know that inflation is a problem still. But I just never get it. Powell's the one that makes all the decisions, yet you have all these other guys making comments that's making his life even harder. So, one of the big things to look forward to is what he's going to say tomorrow. But we're going to get a lot of opinions this entire week. And this is not all. It's going to get more interesting because of this. We have two big inflation readings this week in the U.S. PPI, which comes tomorrow, and more importantly, CPI, which comes Wednesday. And of course, you have a lot of other economic data that shows how strong or weak the economy is, right? Like building permits, manufacturing, jobless claims, retail sales. These are all important too. But what is inflation data going to tell us? We had PCE, which told us that inflation not only went up in a big way. So is PPI and CPI going to show the same thing? And if so, it really puts Powell in a very, very, very difficult spot, right? He was pressed the last FOMC meeting whether or not he would even consider a rate hike. He said no, not on the table whatsoever. And he still indicated rate cuts were still coming. So when are they going to come? The number of rate cuts, are they going to be decreased or not? Or he's just going to pretend none of this really happens and some shenanigans start happening, right? We know this is election year, and that always gets fudged around. And here's an example of it. I saw this morning, couldn't quite believe it, but starting with the CPI data tomorrow, Wednesday, they will now exclude coffee. Coffee has always been in the CPI data, and coffee is one of those commodities that have been inflated quite a lot since last year. According to this, September 2023 to now, coffee went up a massive 78%. Starbucks even reported a decline in traffic due to higher costs of coffee, right? Yet, this is being removed from the CPI data. Why do you think it's being removed? Like, the shenanigans that we're talking about, is that really going to start? Is this one of the reasons for for them to try to like fudge numbers and make inflation not seem as elevated as it is. I don't know. Maybe soon. In here, there's vegetable shortening, tomatoes. Maybe they all start getting removed from CPI because they show really elevated levels of inflation, and they have to somehow fudge the numbers to make it look like we're not inflating, and that's how we're gonna get a rate cuts. I don't know, but this seems weird that all of a sudden they're going to like exclude one category from CPI data. Yeah, just seems weird. All right. Well, so we got those two to look forward to. What else do we have to look forward to? Well, like I said in my Sunday walk video, I'm trying to identify who's been selling last week, okay? Because it wasn't the ETF. So if you look at this, obviously week 14 through 17, 17 being pretty nasty, okay? Almost 8,000 Bitcoin sold. But last week, if you tally everything up, we had a net inflow of 1,300 Bitcoin, which is good. Grayscale selling kind of came to a halt. There was still some selling, but overall, last week was a good inflow day, right? So we'll see how this week is, especially considering, if inflation goes up, are we going to see more from Wall Street turn to Bitcoin? I think so. I think that's actually a good thing for Bitcoin if we do see CPI go up and PPI go up to the moon, okay? But ETFs are also net positive now, at least for last week. We broke 4 weeks of major outflows, major selling. So this week, if we do see a net inflow continue in a positive direction, that would be, of course, very good for this week. As for Grayscale, last week they still did sell more than they took in, 2,834, but it was the slowest outflow week Grayscale's ever had since converting to ETF. Okay, so that's also very positive. Let's see if that can actually turn to zero or net positive for this week, and that would be the first in Grayscale's history. All right, what else is there? This is pretty positive. El Salvador now posted a website to track their Bitcoin holdings. And you can see right here, 7-day change, 7 Bitcoin, basically 1 Bitcoin per day. 30-day change, 30 Bitcoin, BTC holdings, 5,748, $360 million. And you can see that stair step upwards. Basically, they are DCAing on a schedule, 1 Bitcoin per day, which is hard to do. No, I don't think any of us can do that. Only a small country could. But it goes to show you the power of DCA. Again, I showed you guys in my DCA portfolio. President Bukele showing it with this website. MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor obviously showing it, just going crazy at times and just buying Bitcoin as much as they can really, randomly. And just keep in mind that MicroStrategy itself has more than 1% of the total supply. Of the total supply there ever will be. We're not even at 21 million released. We're only at 19.4. So that means he actually holds more than 1% at this time. Only 2 ETFs hold more, Grayscale and BlackRock, but they're not too far off. Michael Saylor has made his life mission to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. So again, this is important because when things get scary, when things go lower, when there's a lot of volatility, what should you do? Just remind yourself of these big boys. What are they doing? They are buying, they're loading up, or they're just ignoring the FUD. Continue to hold on and ignoring the FUD, right? So, what else is going on? On-chain activity dipped to the lowest level since 2019, which is good, which means, okay, there's not a whole lot of people selling. Again, it comes down to that mystery. If institutions are not selling, retail investors are not really panic selling and sending to exchange, well, who's actually selling, right? Like last week, we did see a big dip. So who actually is doing it? So I still don't know. I don't know if it's FTX. or if it's Mt. Gox or some other entity that we don't know yet, right? But for the most part, people understand this is not the time to be selling. Bitcoin has its days where it could go down, and you could see this one goes back down to, 2013, when Bitcoin was still below $20,000. We have seen drops. We have seen these nasty down wicks, okay? And this is just this cycle. This is not even previous cycles. We have seen many, many, many of them before. And we tend to forget. I think most of us forgot that, hey, we had a nasty down wick to the 30s back in February. Do I remember that? No. I don't remember we fell back to the 30s in February. Do you guys? I mean, that just shows how fast things move. And once things move, you don't really remember what has happened before, right? I don't remember a nasty 20K drop back in, June of last year. So that's the thing. Once we break out of this, once we form a new high, most of us will ever forget that, hey, we had a quick drop into the 50s. And then, you know what? And then we just continued higher. So that's how it always is with every single cycle. There's a lot of volatility. There always is. There always is. And even if you stretch it out to years, there's always a little choppiness, okay? Choppy conditions right after a halving event. Even though we all just remember the crazy rally that follows the halving event, but during the halving events and afterwards, there's always some choppiness, okay? The sailing is not always smooth, not right off the bat. But afterwards, we head higher, and no one seems to remember the choppiness anymore, right? So again, when in doubt, zoom out, and you look at something like this, you're like, okay, I think we're in a pretty good position. We're in a pretty good position considering where we are in this cycle, considering where we were in previous cycles, and considering you're looking at patterns and you're noticing one pattern, and that is a parabolic rise that happens after every single halving. And that's not going to be any different this time. It's not. Short term, this is what we're looking at, descending downwards, right? Can we pull a 2017 and shoot right back up when the time is ready? Yeah. I mean, maybe we go sideways for a little bit longer. Maybe we even dip a little bit lower to 52. Or we don't do any of that, and then we just continue higher. I just think there's too many factors at play, especially considering this week we're going to get some more data around inflation, and with the Fed maybe thinking of, there's a lot of things to consider, right? But what I do know is this. Bitcoin always goes higher. It just does. You can't disprove that. Every single cycle, it goes higher. Higher highs, higher lows. But the last thing I'll say about Bitcoin is this. This person has this interesting thing where it shows you when Bitcoin breaks through to all-time high, then what happens afterwards. And you can see 0% is when it hit previous highs. And that's from previous cycles going all the way back to 2011. And then we saw a high in 2013, and then 2014, and then 2017, and then, continue onwards. But according to this person, if we're following the same pattern as before, that means actually the bull market top of this cycle will be January 2025. And this cycle is different because we hit previous high really fast. Okay, we broke previous high from 2021 before the halving event, months before the halving event. That's never, ever, ever happened in Bitcoin's history before. Never. So this cycle is a little different. But anyways, if we're looking at what has happened before, after we broke through an all-time high, we approximately have around 9 months. So this person is thinking that January 2025 will be all-time high. And where will Bitcoin be? Between 175 to 350,000 in the next 9 months, if the future resembles the past. Well, I do agree with the 175 to 350. I don't know if I agree that within the next nine months we're going to hit those figures. But you know what? When Bitcoin moves, it really does. You just don't know, right? Just like this. Boom. And it tends to move really, really quickly, right? And I remember those days. So can we see something like that happen again? Certainly. But I think the timeline is a little too early. All right. What else is there after Bitcoin? Let's see. Some Ripple and Tether news. Brad Garlinghouse is causing some FUD because XRP or Ripple wants to come out with a stablecoin. Now they're throwing some shade saying that the US government is targeting Tether. And now we know Tether and iFinix and Bitfinex, they're all connected and they haven't had a rosy history, right? But Tether has been targeted by many and Tether has always somehow won. Okay, and now they're making money hand over fist. So I have no doubt they have no problems with their reserves, with payouts and stuff. We have seen whales try to depeg USDT multiple times, and they were able to sustain them all. And now they're so big, I don't have any fear that they will be depegged, but knock on wood. Anyways, Brad Garlinghouse is still claiming, though, hey, they're going to be investigated. Watch out. And why is he saying that? Because he wants people to buy Ripple stablecoin, right? And of course, Tether does not like that. Paulo, who is the CEO of Tether, shot back, saying an uninformed CEO leading a company being investigated by the SEC, launching a competitive stablecoin, is being reported spreading fear about USDT. That says a lot right there, that very first sentence. Basically, it's like, you got this person that's already being investigated by the SEC. He's uninformed and causing FUD about our product, USDT, right? I'll just let you guys can read the remaining quote. But that's basically it. I don't know why Brad is saying what he's saying. Maybe there is truth to that. Or maybe he is just spreading FUD. But what I do know is this. People are charting XRP. And XRP is at an basically all-time low versus Bitcoin. So you could see throughout the years, okay, there's been a few ups where it outperformed Bitcoin. Like in 2018 was the last stint. But since then, it's been going down and down and down and down. And someone like Peter Brandt, who is a trader, is now saying that the chart looks like XRP is go head to zero versus Bitcoin. Not even really just, not even trolling XRP army, not even hating XRP. But if you just look at the dominance versus Bitcoin, it just keeps trending downwards. That's simply it. Maybe just because I don't show my educational video enough. Maybe that's why. All right. That's it. Let's do some Q&A. There we go. I was muted. Yep. Okay, I answered Dan, I think. I don't know if I was on mute. GameStop going bananas again. Will this make memes go crazy? No. because GameStop people are not into memes. Otherwise, the GME or Reddit memes would have gone up to the moon. Those guys are just not into memes. They should be, but they're not. I posted, Keith Jeff says, George, I posted for 2 months. The last piece of the manipulated swan will be tethered. A lot of people have been saying that for a long time, Keith. I've said that too. But they have gotten to a point where they make so much money every single quarter, they're not going to go anywhere anymore. Back in the day, they had some major problems, banking problems. You know, they lost $800 million to some bank, and they recovered it by coming out with some other token. But they were sued by the South District of New York already, and they won that case. You know, that's pretty tough. The South District of New York, they're the toughest jurisdiction, and basically they sue everyone. They're the ones that sued KuCoin recently. And they were in a multi-year suit with them, and they still came out on top. I don't know. I think Tether's, you know, they fixed themselves by now. GameStop people love Dogecoin. Yeah. Well, it certainly isn't helping Doge today. If Doge was pumping like 20% or 50%, then I would say, yeah, those GameStop people really love Dogecoin. That is not the case right now. No, I meant the Reddit meme coin. There was a Reddit meme coin, not Reddit itself. I hate Reddit. It's like a toxic waste pool of uninformed people. But yeah, there was a Reddit meme, and supposedly the Reddit people were going to get involved. The Wall Street Bets people were going to get involved, and it just like never went anywhere. So I really don't think any of those Wall Street Bets people, they could care less about memes. Bitcoin did something though. From a technical standpoint, Bitcoin did something that I didn't expect it to do, and it's really positive. It just goes to show you TA works until it doesn't. So yesterday I was charting this. I'm like, okay, before this happened last night, I was charting this. I'm like, okay, what does this look like? It was like, you know, you have the tops here, and then you have the bottoms here, right? And it looked like, if you look at this, that looks like a giant bearish flag. And if you look at the pattern for a bearish flag, basically at this point, it was going to go downwards. Because a bearish flag is, yes, you have a giant flag pulled downwards, then you have an upward kind of swing within this channel, and then you break downwards, right? But what Bitcoin did was, instead of breaking downwards, it broke upwards, and volume actually increased over here, right? That was actually kind of a surprise. So again, it goes to show you that sometimes you just can't predict where Bitcoin's going, because there's too many macro factors at play. You can't just rely on technicals. You really need to look at everything. And sometimes you look at everything, you still don't know where everything's going. But that's something that surprised me this morning. NMCT, message retracted. Okay. The difference between ADA and GME, we don't have to play their game. They have to play ours. I don't know what that means, Nate. Are you saying Ada doesn't play games? My pre-election meme coins: Trump and cock Inu and whiff. Is this bad or good strategy? I'm making hand over fist with Trump. Hey, if it's working for you, why not, right? It's like, what I've learned about memes is they do great until they don't. And then once they start dumping, sometimes they never come back. So be careful with them. The big ones, I do think like Whiff and Cock, they have enough support that they can continue forever. I don't know about the Trump coin or any of the other ones. They seem to do very well, and then all of a sudden they just start dumping. So I would highly suggest taking some profits and then leaving the remaining there. So in case it starts going down, you're okay, you're not burned. I think one of the biggest things that have cost me a lot of money is being too bullish on something that's unknown. A lot of these memes, I'll do very well at the beginning, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna make me a lot of money because it'll keep going up, and then all of a sudden it just goes down and I start losing money. So I think one of the biggest things, especially with memes, is make sure you take your profits. If you're up a substantial amount, you made thousands or tens of thousands, take some out. So if the remaining amount that you leave in there even crashes to zero, you're okay. You got your gains locked in. I would suggest that for memes. For regular alts, for everything else, you could definitely leave in there, right? You can let it ride because we know they have potential to keep going because they're building and there's a lot of activity going on. It's not just based on, hype, so to speak. So that's what I would say. Sheeb is outperforming Doge today, up 5%, 6%, 6 to 4. Maybe it could be a meme day because of what's going on with GME. That would be big. Pepe's up 9%, so that's good. Whiff is only up 2%. Floki's up 8%. Bonk is 6%. So maybe today could be a good meme day. We'll see if the GME pump is going to help a lot of these other memes. If GameStop was a crypto, GameStop stock will be $100 per share without any halts. Yeah. I know GME, well, it wasn't the guys behind GME, obviously, but there was a GME meme, and it just didn't do well at all. It did. And I'm like, it's not the guys behind GME or, Wall Street Bets, but every time there's a meme, I don't know, that kind of relates to that. People claim that, and it didn't sustain, I guess. Basic Gamer says, should we do anything else for Bit Unix competition? That reminds me. I need to remind you guys that. Yeah, so there is a trading competition for Bit Unix, okay? It's going to start in 4 days. So within the next 4 days, you actually have to start an account, and right here where it says login, you actually have to hit register. If you don't register, even if you made an account, you're not part of this trading competition. So make sure you register because only 3 people have registered. But I see a lot of people signing up, right? And what is this trading competition? It's just a way for you to make free money. If you're already trading already, basically you're going to get free SOL. So if you get 20 million trading volume, which seems like a lot, but like I know myself, I exceed that all the time. You get 15 SOL for free. 10 million volume, 8 SOL, and then 4 SOL, right? Even if you're like a small trader, 0.5 to 80 USDT. So basically after this registration period, which ends on the 17th, and then the campaign period is 17th to 30th, that's when you start trading and you just make free SOL. Only for traders, okay? And only for people that really do like to play with leverage. But even if you don't, the Unix have a good spot market, and there's a ton of trading pairs there as well. And no KYC, no VPN. That's the big thing. Link in the description. Screaming Jerry Lee, should I hold my Phantom or sell it? You know what? I think Phantom could still do it very well this cycle. They have surprised me. I thought they were going to disappear because of all the L2s, but they have not. They have done pretty well. They have done pretty well. Miguel asks, what's your opinion on Multiverse X? Seeing tons of FUD around it while being a chain using sharding, fast, cheap, and secure. A lot of chains do have the same qualities. It's been out for a while. In 2021, 2022, 2023, you know, 2021 they gained some fame. They came out their own launchpad with their own decks. But since then, I haven't heard. Like, I see a lot of projects. Well, I get pitched a lot. Not one have said they're on Multiverse X or aka Elrond. That's the thing. Like, I don't see a lot of dApps going to a lot of these chains. Yes, they have a big market cap, but they're like empty ghost chains. It's like building a 10 lane highway and there's like barely any cars on there. That's kind of how it is with a lot of these L1s. They can be very fast, but no one is using them. Tom is in the house. Hey, Tom. George, MoonPay permanently disabled my account. I think you just keep showing this every single time. Should I be worried at some point there will only be off-ramp, blah, blah, blah? Sure. Not something you should worry about now. There will be plenty of off-ramps still for quite some time. B Malak, I heard you got liquidated on your long cock. Is that true? No, not true. Any thoughts on Flare? I don't really hear anything about Flare. I honestly don't. GameStop halted again, up 110%. I don't know what's going on with GameStop. I really hope some of those traders, man, they should get into crypto. I don't know why they keep trying to like pump up GameStop. You know, they could pump up all the memes, okay, in crypto. You don't have to worry about being shut down, you know, the breakers triggering. You can buy 24/7. You don't have to worry about market close. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. I still don't get why those people that actually are in it to give a FU to the current, you know, I don't know, to give a current to the current people in charge or whatever, or the Fed, whoever they're giving an FU to. You know, there's no better way to do it than being crypto. And plus, if you want to make money, if you want to make massive gains, no better way to do it than in crypto. So again, I don't quite understand why they haven't moved more into crypto. My volume is very low. Is it? I don't know. Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high. I don't know if I can adjust my mic volume. I'll have to do it later. Good morning from San Antonio. Well, I like what we're seeing this morning. If we could break back to 63.7, right? Basically, it was my thesis of, we're going to hug this line for a little bit, right? But whenever we break downwards, it gets a little scary, but we are breaking upwards. If we get right back up to 63.7 or 64, we'll be in a really good spot. I mean, and then we'll see. We'll see what the Fed says this week. I don't know why there's always so many people from the Fed that has to talk. Just leave it to one person, this person right here. There's no reason why anyone else needs to talk about the economy besides the man in charge. And tomorrow will be really interesting with PPI inflation, and then Wednesday, CPI inflation. It's going to be crazy. Roaring Kitty, who drove meme craze, resurfaces. The man who inspired the epic short squeeze in 2021 posted online for the first time in 3 years. Okay. Okay, so he came back. Didn't he get sued or something about SEC? I guess he was found not guilty. Why can't he drive meme craze in crypto? Why GameStop? Just come into crypto and drive, I don't know, Pepe or Doge or whatever to the moon instead. But we'll see if this has an effect on the memes today. There are some that's moving, not that much. I never understood the GameStop and meme craze. I didn't either. Oh shoot. GME up 1,500%. If you guys are holding GME, the meme coin, okay, you should definitely take profits right now. Right now. You went from basically 4 decimal points and now to 3 decimal points. If you are holding GME meme, take profit right now. It doesn't mean you have to sell everything, but when something's up 1,600% and now it's at 67 million, take profit. Or you go regret it when it does come down. And then there's a Roaring Kitty that's at 13 million. That's up 10,000%. Only happens in crypto. It only happens in crypto. If you think 110% for GME stock is awesome, what about 1,600% gain? But it does look like it's starting to lose steam, guys. So on a serious note, seriously, if you do hold GME meme, definitely take some profits, because if this starts falling, it's going to fall very, very fast. So I just got done saying that. Take some profits if you're up. Miguel, unfortunately, I don't think they posted this, but unfortunately I withdrew and I can't show up to Volcon 4, so I won't be there. But it was going to just be a general fireside chat. Is Hourglass going to zero? Jacob Smith says. I hope not. I hope not, but I hope they do more things. Someone said I sold 80% of Kitty. Love it. Yeah, take profit, guys. Okay, it's not go. It's starting to come down. It's not gonna go up forever to billions like what some people are saying. If you made a good amount of money with both of these, take some profits. Let the remaining ride. It's okay. You let some ride. Let it ride to the moon. But make sure you take some profits. Otherwise, you're going to regret it if it falls down hard, which it probably will. Is a referral code needed for your Big Unix sign up? No, it'll automatically input it. You'll see it. Like when you sign up, it'll have my referral code ready. Ram, the Unix deal looks very good. Is that so real? It's real. All you have to do is hit those trading conditions, right? That's why I was working with them. I'm like, a lot of traders, they want something, right? So I'm like, okay, they agreed to this. So if you are a trader, the trading contest is basically to see if you can get these volumes: 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, which seems like it's a lot. Like, who's going to trade 1 million in volume, right? When you're doing leverage trading, actually, you hit it really fast. And anyone that just even signs up and just makes one trade will be awarded $20 for free. There's nothing else to it. But make sure you have to enroll. You actually have to hit the button that says enroll or register. Otherwise, you're not. Only 3 people have so far. So make sure you guys are looking to compete. You actually hit that button. I haven't felt dirty in a long time. George, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Back in February and March, you know how I kept telling you guys, "Ooh, I feel so dirty." Now I feel too clean. Too clean. We need some of that dirtiness coming back. The market, got boring, a little stale in the last month or so. We need to see that pick up. Unfortunately, though, it might be stale like this for a while, for a few months. But the good thing is, you know what? You clean up, you get sober, and then you get ready for the dirtiness, which will come later this year. I thought Unix and no KYC, but you need it for USD. It's probably because you need it for the USD. Most of these exchanges, yeah, they're crypto based. So I wouldn't use it for USD purposes. So if you're in the US, you should have a fiat on ramp, off ramp, right? Like Coinbase or Gemini or any of the US ones. And then foreign ones, just stick with crypto. That's what I've been doing. I don't try to do fiat with any of the foreign exchanges. What's the discovery mug today? This is San Antonio. I got one from Paris and Dubai, and you're right, they're not as good. But every city I go to, I try to get one of these cups. My wife started that trend. It is pretty cool. Every city you go and you try to find a mug. It's a good, that's why I don't get why other companies don't do this. So at the very least, Starbucks forces people to go to a Starbucks in new destinations or new cities or whatever, and it's cool to get a cup. Like when I was in Dubai, I saw Lego stores, a couple of them in different malls. and I'll go in, right? But there's nothing there. I don't I don't get why Lego doesn't do the same thing. Come up with this a brickhead or something small or a minifig that you could only get in that country or in that city, right? Then people touring around, they'll be forced to go to all the Lego stores to collect them. It's such a brilliant thing if you think about it. Like even a minifig, a special minifig with a different like city name on the chest or something, that would force everyone to go to all the Lego stores just to get the minifigs. But they don't do that. So Starbucks actually did something really quite genius, and no other brands are doing it. I don't quite get it. Uh, Golden Sun asked about Uphold. It's there. I'd never use it. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a traditional exchange, but if it's working out for you, then it's fine. You know. Stop giving away all these good ideas. I mean, I still don't get it. If I was in charge of Lego or any of these franchise stores that people go to, even McDonald's. Imagine the toys or something for Happy Meal, for kids. Like there's one exclusive one for every city in the world or major city in the world or something. I don't know. A special cup, something that entices people to go and try to collect them all. Hard Rock Cafe, yeah, I don't go to Hard Rock cafes, and they're really expensive. I went to the one in Orlando. It was okay. Super expensive, wasn't that great. Um, Illuminati, welcome. Has Say sentiment gone down? Mostly because crypto sentiment has gone down, so yes. But overall, I think most alts have gone down. Doge and Sheep starting to move. It's today meme day because of GME. Maybe, but still quite down from a week ago or last month. Up 7% today. Pepe's up 11%. Good day to throw a 20x long at these. Just kidding. GME 52-week high, 78%. It's down from its 100% position. Coinbase up 1.77. MicroStrategy is up. Man, MicroStrategy up 6% today. MicroStrategy stock is now a beast. 22 billion. I remember when MicroStrategy was still like 2 billion, less than 2 billion. It's gone up 10x in a very short amount of time. Well, Bitcoin is doing pretty positive. Or it is positive. Not doing positive, but it is positive. 63,000. If we could break above the 637 today and hold above, I say that's very, very positive. So obviously we had a little dip over here like a couple weeks ago down to 56. This time we had a little dip to 60. We didn't even break 60, so it's good. So let the dips, let the dips run out. Consolidate around here a little bit, up and down, sideways, moving along this line, and then when we're ready, we're gonna be ready. McDonald's needs to bring back their original French fries recipe, and their new fries suck. I didn't know they actually switched to a new recipe. Dave asked a good question. Tongue Coin has been gaining against Sol relentlessly. Do you see Tongue flipping Sol at this rate? I can't discount that, but I still don't trust Tongue. First of all, they're absolutely huge. They've been climbing so much. I just don't really trust them. There's something about it that just seems off. They're the only ones bucking the trend that seemingly goes up forever. And there's something weird about that. But it's sitting at number 8. It's going to flip XRP soon. There's still a wide gap between Solana and Tonguecoin, but they just don't have the same things. They operate completely different. They're all about building on top of Telegram. Who knows? But I'm sticking with Solana. All right, guys. I'll let you guys go. Overall, today's a good day. Let's see if Bitcoin gets a little hotter. But I know today everyone's looking at the memes. If you made an insane amount of money with the kitty meme or the GME meme, highly suggest take some profits or you may end up regretting it. 1,500% gain at 55 million. Take some profits, man. Take some profits. Don't be greedy. All right. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.